crisis. The Muslim Ummah in general and our youth in particular has never faced identity crisis on this level. Our youth, our youngsters, Muslim youngsters around the world, in the Muslim world and in the Western world, are going through an identity crisis. I will explain what I mean by that. So let me highlight the problem first, and then we will talk about the solutions, inshallah. The problem is that our youth today is confused. Confused about what? They are confused as to why they are Muslims. And because they don't fully understand why they are Muslims, they end up following people they are not supposed to be following. And with the rise of social media, with TikTok, with Snapchat, with Facebook, those who are elderly, right? Because Facebook has now become an elderly application. Youngsters have moved on to more sophisticated things. They are creating more sophisticated content, and they have become more sophisticated in that. So I'm talking to TikTokers and Snapchatters and Instagrammers, these people. And now the inspiration is coming through these platforms. So they have created heroes for themselves. Obviously, when the wind blows, it touches everyone. So globally, we have a phenomenon. And that phenomenon is social media. And fitna has risen in this day and age like never before. There are too many temptations and digressions for us to fall into, neglecting our true identity altogether and ignoring it and putting it aside completely in some cases. What am I talking about? So, who are our youth following today? And how do we know that our youth are following these people? They are following rap artists, football players, singers, actors, gangsters, and the list goes on. How do I know that? Because when I see the youth on the street, they are acting like these people. And this has been the problem since I was a teenager, because I was a victim myself of this kind of thinking. I used to think that it's cool to be gangsterish. Yeah, it's cool to be a gangster. And I used to think that I am Tupac. Literally, I'm not joking. Yeah. There was a time I used to listen to Tupac. Those of you who know Tupac, he was a rapper in the 90s. He died in 1996. And I was devastated. Right? When I heard the news that he's killed, because I loved his music so much. At that time, I used to think that I am him. Yeah? Like the Prophet ﷺ said, "Alaykum bi sunnati wa sunnatil khulafa ar-rashidin al-mahdin min ba'di." The Prophet said, upon you is my way and the way of my rightly guided successors who come after me. I was following Tupac telling me, "Alaykum bi sunnati wa sunnati ashabi." Upon you is my way, because this is what he was preaching, right? He was telling people to be like me. He was very cool to youngsters. And people used to dress like him, follow the same fashion, wear trousers like him, act like him, talk like him, smoke like him, drink like him, and in some cases die like him. People died like him. And in reality, I don't want to talk bad of someone who's dead, but this is the reality. He died like a dog in the street because he was behaving in that way. He was asking for it. He was calling for it. He was challenging Allah. He thought he had become too big. And he got what he wanted. And people are very much inspired by his videos and his lifestyle, the fake lifestyle these rappers had created in the 90s, and it still goes on. Now youngsters have found new rappers, new content, new music. And even though some of our Muslim brothers who are young, they might come to the masjid, but when they go out, they listen to these people. This is where the real inspiration is coming from. How do I know that? Because they act like these people. They think they are them. They behave like them, they walk like them, they talk like them. They even treat their parents like as if those parents are from the street. So they'll go home, they'll talk to the mum as if she is one of the drug dealers from the street. Yeah? You agree with me, right? Good. Because you know I'm telling the truth. Some of these youngsters, they go from the street, they go home, they have no idea who they're talking to. They talk to the mum as if she's the gangster, she's one of those gangsters or one of those drug dealers from the street. So this becomes a second nature. So you love what you love. And how do we know what you love? We know because you become what you love. So when you start to look like someone, when you start to act like someone, when you start to talk like someone, you start to live like someone, then you are that someone. Simple. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum." That you imitate a people, then you are them. Period. You behave like a people, you talk like them. Even our brothers who become practicing, they bring the street with them. It is a struggle for them to actually adopt the manners of Islam, the akhlaq of Islam. So when they will talk as if they're in the street, even in the masjid. It's a struggle for some of our brothers. And they need to overcome it. So this is a big problem for our youth today. Imitation of people they should not be imitating. You go to some of these youngsters' rooms, you see the posters on the walls. And when you speak to them today, you ask them about Ronaldo, how many girlfriends he's had, how much money he makes, and I can guarantee you, I ask my brothers here right now, they will tell me who you know who Ronaldo is? Look, you see? MashaAllah, he's speaking the truth. Yeah? This is the problem. We are facing such an onslaught of fitna and digressions and distractions that it is impossible for our youth to avoid these things. That's why we need to start working harder on our youth to strengthen their identity as Muslims. Because they have found heroes elsewhere. And on daily basis, from the day our children are born, they are being bombarded with cultural influences. They are being influenced, conditioned, molded into thinking in a way that is not their actual identity. So when the child is born, what do you give him? Baby shark, do. Yes? Right? When the child is born, as soon as the child opens the eyes, what comes, Sheikh? Huh? Because I've heard this myself. Instead of La ilaha illallah, Bismillah, or maybe some of the Islamic anashid, you know, what do our children receive? Baby shark, do, or baby shark, do, something like that, right? I don't know what that is. But I've heard it so much, it's unbelievable. And then when they grow up a little bit, in my day and age, it used to be Tom and Jerry. Yeah, I don't know what it is today. What is it today? Still Tom and Jerry? Still Tom and Jerry, yeah. Right? And then in Tom and Jerry, what are you learning? Violence. Violence, right? Then when you grow up a little bit more, then it shifts to something else. And then eventually you get to Sopranos, Pablo Escobar. Yeah? You get to something else. And you start getting inspiration from these criminals who are being glorified. So this rap music you may be listening to, my brothers, this is the problem. I'm highlighting the problem first. We're going to come to solutions very soon, inshallah. This rap music you're listening to is evil. The content is evil. What are these rappers doing? They are radicalizing you. They are radicalizing you in ways you cannot imagine. They are glorifying drug dealing. They are glorifying disrespecting women. They are glorifying violence, evil violence. They are glorifying evil behavior, evil language. Using F word is now cool. When you talk, you keep using that word. And you sound like a gangster, you sound like a bad boy. But there's nothing bad about it. Actually, there is everything bad about it. Right? There's nothing right about it, rather. Right? And this is what you are thinking, that there's nothing bad about it. It's normal. This is our normal behavior.